All right, so now we're looking at multiplying and dividing equations. In order to solve for the variable, we have to isolate the variable by using the inverse operation. If we have the following problem, let's say we have 9a equals 36. 9a equals 36. Of course, the first thing that we're going to do is isolate the variable. So of course we split the equation. If we have multiplying the value times the variable, we have to use the opposite operation. The inverse operation of multiplication is division. So that means we're going to divide both sides by 9. And of course the 9s are gone. And here we're left with a on the left side. So a is going to equal, and of course when we divide 36 by 9, that's going to give us 4. Okay? All right, let's look at another problem. If we have x divided by 2 equals 15, I'm sorry. X divided by 2 equals 15. Of course, we have to split the equation. We're going to isolate the variable by using the inverse operation here. The variable is being divided by 2, so that means on both sides we have to use the inverse operation of multiplication. So that's times 2 here, and that's times 2 here. Whatever we do to one side of the equation, we must do to the opposite side. So now we're going to solve for x. Of course, when we multiply 15 times 2, that's going to give us 30. So 30. There we go. So x equals 30. All right. Are there any questions so far? All right, here we go. So now let's look at the following. And now we're going to begin reviewing our integer rules. Here we have negative 8 times m. That's going to equal negative 32. Okay? So of course, we are going to split the equation. We need to isolate the variable. Here, the variable is being multiplied, so we're going to use the inverse operation, which is division. That means we're going to divide a negative 8 on both sides. When we divide, the negative 8s are eliminated, and we're left with m on the left side. So m is going to equal, and when we divide a negative 32 by a negative 8, that's going to give us a positive 4. Remember, when multiplying and dividing, same signs, your answer is going to be a positive. If you're multiplying and dividing different signs, your answer is going to be a negative. Let's look at another example. X divided by 5 equals negative 60. X divided by 5 equals negative 60. Okay? So the first thing we need to do is split the equation. Since x is being divided by a positive 5, we need to multiply both sides by positive 5. So here, we're going to multiply times 5 on this side, times 5 on this side. Here we're left with x. And when we multiply, of course, this is a negative and a positive. So, of course, our answer is going to be a negative. And then 60 times 5 is going to give us what? Heard somebody? Anybody? 300. Okay? So here, x is going to equal a negative 300. All right? Are there any questions so far? Nope. Okay. All right, here we go. So now what I want you to do, I'm going to write these two problems and then we're going to work them together. So I expect someone to unmute their mic and participate. Here we go. We have negative 6 times A. That equals, oh, I'm sorry. I wrote the wrong problem. Here we go. Here we go. All right. All right. So here we have A divided by negative 6. That's what I meant to write. All right. And that is going to equal hold on, wait a minute. I'm looking at the wrong problem. I'm sorry, guys. Give me a second. Okay, yeah, I did it right the first time. So that's negative 6 times A equals 66. All right. So, of course, the first thing is going to be what? Split the equation. How will we isolate the variable? Anyone? Can someone unmute their mic and tell us how will we split the equation? Very good. Thank you. Divide both sides by negative 6. And that means A is going to equal, of course, we have a positive 66 divided by a negative 6. That's going to give us
negative 11.
Very good. Thank you so much. Negative 11. Good job. Good job. Here we go. The next problem that we have X divided by a negative 4. That is going to equal negative 12. That is going to equal a negative 12. So the first thing we do is split the equation. If we're dividing x by 4, what operation that is opposite to division are we going to use on both sides? Very good. Thank you. So we're multiplying both of these sides times a negative 4. And once we solve for x, the 4's are gone. And we have two negatives, so that means our answer is going to be what? 48. Positive 48. Very good. Very good. All right. So now, let's look at the following. We're going to begin to model division and multiplication problems. And I'm just going to write modeling equations. All right. We're almost done. All right. Here we go. So now, let's say I have the following model. Okay. That's the left side of the equation. And this is going to be all right. The right side of the equation is the value. So now, of course, here we have 3 x's, and on the right side we have 9 positives. So this equation would be 3x, the number of x's, 3x equals 9. Okay. So now, if we were looking to solve for x, of course, we would split the equation again. Since we're multiplying, we're going to divide by 3 on both sides. And of course, the 3's are eliminated. That means x is going to equal 3. Okay? Pretty simple, right? All right, let's look at another type of equation. I'm sorry, another type of model. Here we go. Let's say we have the following. course, we have x. And this is going to equal all right. So if we notice here, we have an x, but it's being split up into equal parts. So could someone tell me what they think this operation would be here? Or what would we write for the equation? Of course, we're going to have x, and it's being separated into 4 equal parts. So that means this will be represented as x divided by 4. We have one whole x, and it's being split or divided into 4 equal parts. Okay? So this is x divided by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this equals, of course, we have 4, 8, 12, 16 negatives. So this is negative 16. Okay? So now here, of course, we split the equation. Since we're dividing x by 4, we're going to have to use the inverse operation. That'll be 4 times x. And then here 4 times x. All right. So here that means x is going to equal, once we multiply both sides by 4, that's going to equal 64. Okay? So that basically means each one of these parts equals 16. 16, 16, 16, and 16. But the total x equals 64. Okay? Are there any questions here? Uh-oh. Sorry.